Welcome back to the channel, and today we're gonna do a quick little maintenance mod on the F350. Those of you that watched my previous video saw that I couldn't start it, and then the next day it started. So I don't know what the problem is now. It's starting fine now, driving fine, no issues. So I decided to go ahead and pick up a new sensor, the CPS sensor, which is about 25 bucks on Amazon. And this is the one, this is the model number right here, the one that ends with the C. That's the good one. There's two other sensors. This is the dark purple one, and they have a lighter gray one, and then they have a black one. I actually just went ahead and printed it out, and basically they have the dark blue one, and they have the gray one, and they have the black one. And I don't know if my 7.37 issues with that CPS sensor, but I'm gonna go ahead and change it to a new one anyways, because it's a known issue to fail once in a while. So, and since it's working just fine, I'm going to use that one as my spare one. I'll just throw it in the glove box, and it's going to be in there just in case if I ever need to swap it or whatever else happens. I'll have that part in the glove box. And then when I'll change the other sensors, I believe it was the IPR and the IPS, I don't remember exactly, but there's two more sensors. When I change those, I'll have those as spares in the glove box as well when I get to that. And I was waiting for the sensor all day today. I wanted to install it during the day, but it just came in at around 8 p.m. so it was getting dark. But I'm gonna change it anyways. While I was waiting for the sensor, I decided to go ahead and clean the garage, the floor, all the garbage that was pretty much building up underneath the Mustang and everywhere on the floor from grinding and sanding and all that stuff. So I cleaned up the Mustang, vacuumed it all. I'm actually working on this video right now. I decided to take her outside, clean her up, and then reorganize some stuff around here. So yeah, right now I'm starting other work on the Mustang, but I had to clean everything before I continued on to doing more work. Just because if you don't clean, it's gonna get worse and worse and worse. So it's better to do a nice repair, finish that job, clean everything up, put all the tools away, and begin other things like siliconing, priming, all that stuff. So this video is actually coming up. I'm working on this video at the same time as I'm doing the truck. So this is gonna come up after I finish the truck. We're gonna get on this bad girl right here. But before we go ahead and install that CPS sensor on the truck, let's go to the dump real quick and do a little bit of dumping. I don't know honestly where I was able to find all this junk at my house, but I pretty much just went through a whole property, found all the little stashes of wood that I had, you know, saving for the rainy day when I want to build something, you know, whatever, or if I need like a little piece of wood for something. But I decided to just go ahead and make a new year resolution and just pretty much throw away anything I don't need. If I eventually one of these days will need it, I'm just gonna go to like Home Depot or Lowe's and pick up whatever I need, because this is how, you know, how hoarders begin. They start putting little things away because they might need it one of these days on the rainy day. So and I don't want to be one of those guys. So I pretty much just loaded up everything I could on here. A bunch of pallets, 2x4s, 2x6, 2x8s, whatever, plywood, pieces of this, pieces of that, and clean up as much as I could. And now we're gonna go to the dump and see how much this costs to dump it. I'm gonna guess maybe 60 bucks. We'll see. Let's go to the dump and see what we got. So now that that's done, let's go ahead and start her up, see how she idles and revs with the stock sensor. And then when I'm gonna install, I'm actually gonna warm her up, make sure she's up to normal operating temperatures. And then I'm gonna swap the sensor and do the same thing. I'm gonna make sure she's normal operating temperatures. And then we're gonna see if she idles at the same RPMs. And if she idles the same, and if she acts the same, we're gonna see and compare the two sensors and see if that's gonna improve anything. All right, so let's get this truck started. Idling, warmed up, swap the sensors, and see if there's any difference. All right, let's go. All right, as you guys heard, she starts really easily, no problems at all, no hesitation. Idle's fine, no issues whatsoever. So I'm gonna let her run for, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, we'll see. And then I'm curious if she's gonna stall again. Hopefully in about 15-20 minutes she'll be up to normal operating temperatures, and we will swap the sensor and do the same thing. We're gonna actually start again and see and compare the difference, how she idles, and we'll go from there. All right, be right back. All right, she's now up to normal operating temps, and she idled for about 30 minutes, maybe even a little more, but she didn't shut off, so that's good. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shut her off, and now that she's nice and warm, I'm gonna start her up, and I'm gonna do a few revs, and you guys will hear the pulsing kind of, I don't know, it kind of hiccups a little bit. And I don't know if that's normal on the 7.3s, it might be. And then I'll shut her off, and then we'll swap the sensor, and then warm her up again to normal temps, and then do the same thing. Let me know what you guys think. Those of you that have the 7.3s, let me know if your trucks do that as well. So now I'm going to go ahead, while the engine's still nice and warm, I'm going to go ahead and swap the sensor. So it's not that hard. There's only, I think, one bolt, maybe a 10mm, and just one plug, and that's it. All right, let me show you how to change it. All right, so the sensor you can kind of get from the top. Let me see here. It's right, let me see if I can get my hand there from this angle. This sensor right here. Now it's a little bit tighter from the top. It's doable, but it's a little bit tighter with the pulleys and all that stuff. From the bottom might be a little easier. And there it is from the bottom right here. This guy right there. Now to take off the plug is fairly simple. You can pull on the tab, kind of pull it away from it and push down at the same time. Let me see if I can do left hand. No, probably not. Could use the right hand for this one. And the camera's in the way, of course. Let's see if I can shove the camera somewhere. YouTube life. Okay, so that's the sensor right here. So basically what you can do is pull on the tab on top and push it down, and it'll pop right off just like that. And I have this plastic right here that when I was changing the water pump, I think I put it in a hole, but I think it's a little bit higher, and I think it popped out maybe, so I don't know. And there's a 10mm bolt right there, so let's grab our 10. 10s are always impossible to find.
2 hours later.
I got my 10. I might need to extend it, I don't know. I might need a little extender. Maybe not. I think we might have to. I think it'll do. Okay. It's a little tight, a little tighter than I thought it would be. Let's see if I can. I might need a left hand for this one. My left hand is busy. And that's a tight 10. Oh man, why'd they get it so tight? No idea. I actually went to the store a while back and picked up like 3 more 10mm sockets, short ones and long ones, so now I don't have the problem of not finding them until, of course, I lose them all. Okay, let's see. Hopefully this will work. There we go. Oh, let's try it. There we go. I have no idea why it's so tight, but it's really tight. Alright, we got that. Just gotta wiggle, and it should come out. There we go. Alright guys, and here's the sensor that I took off my truck. Now, according to my study, reading material, this is not the original one. The original one was the black one. And then Ford later introduced the silver sensor to replace the black one because there was, I guess, a recall with some issues with the black ones that were shutting off, not starting, and so I guess it was a safety issue, and that's when they introduced the silver one. Now the black one has a larger diameter magnetic pickup area, and the new one, which is this one, the gray one, was soon found to have deficiencies that many owners found less than desirable. On many trucks there was a noticeable miss at idle, and also because of this gray one, many injectors were misdiagnosed and replaced when there was a code found, blah blah blah. So basically this silver one is not really that much better than the black one, but I'm guessing there was less shutoffs, so the black one was maybe had more safety issues than this one, but still it's not really that much of an improvement. And Ford then also introduced this one, where this is for, I believe, the older trucks, the 95 to 98 or so, but this works on the 99 to 03 trucks. And what people would found is that this one actually improved idling and MPGs. I don't know if that's going to be true or not in my case, but supposedly this one is better than the black one and the gray one, or silver one. And this is the dark gray, kind of like a dark gray purple. So we're gonna install this one. It's gonna be pretty simple. I'm gonna put a little bit of oil on the O-ring so it goes in nice and smooth, and then we're gonna put that in. Basically this kind of wobbles so it can go in fairly easily, and then this lines up the hole with the 10mm. We tighten that. It doesn't have to be extremely tight like it was, but it has to be pretty tight. And we'll put that in, plug it in. I'm actually going to clean the plug with the electric cleaner, just to make sure it's 100% nice and clean, and then I'll plug it in. And then we're going to start the truck, let it idle for a bit, warm it up to normal temperatures, and then we're going to shut it off, and then do the same thing I did with this one. When the engine is nice and warm, we'll start it up, do some revs, and see if it's going to be any different. Alright, let's plug this in real quick and see what we get. Alright, I'm gonna take the plug, and I'm actually gonna take it on top there and spray it to get it clean before I plug it in. You don't have to spray a lot. I just couldn't get it to spray good sideways. Let's put this guy in. Get out of the way. Come on, plug. Alright. Put that in. Wiggle, wiggle, and push. There we go. Oh boy. It's not the most comfortable spot, but it will have to do. And this plug just keeps getting in the way. I'm just gonna turn it just a little bit. Panic balancer's in the way, and the belt is in the way. Everything's in the way. Okay, good enough. The plug goes in there like that. Click. And we'll get this little bracket that goes somewhere. There's a hole on top, I remember. I don't remember how high. I think it's up here. And there we go. I guess, yeah, it doesn't really stay in there that well. But oh well. Let's get out of here and start her up. Alright, I'm gonna let her sit for about 10-15 minutes because it took me a little bit longer to remove the sensor so the engine cooled off quite a bit. Because it is kind of cold, it's like 40 degrees right now. Yeah, I know, in California we're dying. But anyways, I'm gonna let her warm up for about 10-15 minutes, get it to same normal temperatures, and then we're gonna do the same rev up test, startup test. We're gonna do the same startup first, and then rev up first, and then we'll compare the two and see if there's any kind of misfire or hiccups or whatever, or some kind of. We'll see. All right, be right back. All right, now she's all warmed up again, and let's go ahead and shut her off and do the same thing from the same spot. Well, the rev pretty much sounds the same with the new sensor, so that might even be normal with the 7.3s. Like I said, I don't remember if that's a normal thing. I had 7.3 5-6 years ago, so I don't remember if it was doing the same thing when I was revving up. But anyways, so now I know that I have a new sensor, CPS sensor on the truck, so that's good. It does the same thing, so whatever. So this will be in my glove box as a spare in case the other one fails. I don't think that one will fail, but if it does, I'll have a spare one in the truck as well. And this is what I was trying to remove it with originally, 10mm with a small ratchet, but I needed more power, so I ended up getting the big boy, medium boy, and then I had an extension and a long 10mm on here as well. The worst case, if you have just this with the 10mm socket, you can always try and get enough leverage to break that 10mm because I was dealing with the camera and the lights and all that stuff, so I didn't really have that much room to work with. But I think it's doable unless your truck is fairly old, has a lot of miles, has a lot of rust on it. So maybe you might need this guy. So at the moment, I'm not having any issues before I change the sensor or after, but eventually I might change the two other sensors as well, the IPR and the, what's the other one, ICP, I believe. And those are more expensive. Those are like about $130, $140 each or so. So I'm not in a hurry on changing those just yet, but I might start thinking about it just in case. Just maybe start saving for those and change them up. And if you guys want to read up on the cam position sensor on the RiffRaff, they have a nice little article about them. 7.3 cam position sensor. Just look that up, and it's about a 3-page long, a little detailed article, and you can get more info on the sensor. So guys, that'll be it with the F350 for now. It's working fine, no issues whatsoever. And on the next video, we're getting back to the Mustang. I did clean her up today. I was making video on that, vacuuming everything, wiping everything, all that dust, all that garbage that was building up here over the past 5 years, 6 years, and all that grinding and sanding and welding and all that stuff. So this is all nice and clean. I did also clean up the seats. These seats were wrapped in the bubble wrap for about 5 years, 5-6 years as well. So I got the wrap off, cleaned them up. I'm actually gonna go ahead and probably rewrap them because that plastic was falling apart. So next video is the Mustang. F350 is running good, no problems for now. But I'll keep her in mind to do some more upgrades. If you want to see more videos about my other Eleanors, F350 stuff, Dodge Ram stuff, other cars that I did, go to my playlist. All that stuff is organized in the playlist. If you want to follow me on Instagram, FixitNick, and I try to post on there daily, little pictures, little clips, stuff that I can't really put on YouTube or it's too small, it's not really worth it. But that's where I put more of a behind the scenes pictures or little clips or whatever. So guys, once again, thanks for watching. If you're new, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. See ya.